1 FM, I'm Davis Allen with your UWF Argos update. It was a victory for the UWF football team as they defeated Shorter University 42-14 on Saturday. Redshirt freshman Austin Reed threw for 364 yards while scoring a total of 6 touchdowns, 4 in the air and 2 on the ground. Running back Anthony Johnson rushed for 72 yards while Quentin Randolph and Rodney Coates accounted for 11 catches overall, totaling for 206 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. On the defensive side of the ball, Chandler Ferguson led the way with an interception and 5 total tackles. As a whole, the Argos defense held Shorter's offense to only 93 offensive yards. Coming up on Saturday, the Argos return home for their home opener against a new opponent, Virginia University of Lynchburg. Kickoff for the home opener at Blue Wahoo Stadium is scheduled for 6 o'clock, and just like all Argos games, it can be heard right here on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Today, my new dad and I shot off a rocket in the park.
Today, my new son and I failed to shoot off a rocket.
He knew exactly what to do.
I had no clue what I was doing.
We set up the rocket.
Hit ignition.
And then?
And then nothing. Sometimes I laugh when I'm frustrated.
Then out of nowhere, the rocket launched into the air.
The rocket did get into the air.
I've never seen anything fly so high.
And then crashed into a kite.
Look out! Look out!
And then the pond.
I'll never forget that day.
I'll never forget that day, even if I tried.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
TAP Book Bar and Bistro is the South's premier destination for high-energy sports entertainment. Enjoy award-winning food and a wide variety of draft beer selections with a local flair. Featuring a giant video wall, dozens of HD TVs, and a smoke-free video poker bar, there's no better place to be for sports entertainment. Join us at TAP Book Bar and Bistro, only at Beau Rivage. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hey, Chad here from the Sports Drive. It's time to grab some lunch Thursday from 11 to 1 at Burger King on 9 Mile Road, right across from the Target Shopping Center. Enjoy some flame grill burgers, fresh crispy fries, and of course, see me, the king of sports trivia. You can even rub my head for good luck or challenge JC, the Cowboy fan, to a Whopper eating challenge. This Thursday, 11 to 1 at the grand opening of the new Burger King, 9 Mile Road and University Parkway, across from the Target Shopping Center.
Locally owned Jackson Pace Pharmacy has exciting news for ED patients. Tadalafil, the FDA-approved generic for Cialis, is now here, and the cost savings are huge. Save 80% on the 20-milligram tablets, 30 tablets for $80, less than $3 a pill. A prescription from your doctor is required, so stop by Jackson Pace Pharmacy, 2256 West 9 Mile Road in Pensacola, and cash in on the savings today.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM. WEBY Milton, Pensacola.
The following has been produced by Talk Football LLC. Former Florida Gators quarterback, NFL quarterback, and NFL head coach. Coach K. Stevenson has a resume second to none, and now he's sharing his insider information with you. Talk Football with Coach K starts right now on ESPN Pensacola.
Happy Tuesday! ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM. You are listening to Talk Football with Coach K. Coach K and Joe Ford with you every weekday from noon until 1 with the very latest in the NFL, college football, and even a little high school football sprinkled in as well. We had Monday Night Football last night. The Jets fall to the Cleveland Browns. I'm not sure what was worse, having to sit through that or get mono. Really bad game. The New York Jets couldn't move anything down the field. I believe only twice getting it past midfield. Cleveland Browns bounced back, although I'm not sure how impressive they looked last night. They were able to get the win, but New York Jets now down to their third quarterback, and quarterback injuries, the big story of the NFL season now, just 2 weeks in. Again, I'm Joe Ford along with Coach K. Coach, how are you today?
Doing well, Joe. Good to be with you as always. And you're right. I mean, interesting game last night. It is a big topic of conversation about quarterback, the hurt quarterbacks in the league right now. It's coincidental, but it's and people say, well, what can we do? Always the first response, what can we do to stop it?
Yeah.
Can we confiscate all the guns? Baloney. They got enough going on. They got enough protection right now. You can't protect the quarterbacks anymore. Otherwise, you play flag football. It's just a matter of circumstance. In the National Football League, you're going to get hit, and these things are going to happen. But I do think there's something they can do for the integrity of the game, because at stake is the integrity of the game. And let me give you an example. Last night, of course, their starter is out with mono. The starter last night goes down with a serious leg injury. Serious. He's not going to come back in the ball game. They go to, in essence, their third quarterback, but he was
on the practice squad the day before.
It was on the practice squad the day before. Had not taken that many snaps, and he's got to go in the ball game. Now, what I think they need to do, not necessarily because the owners aren't going to put another player on the active squad right now under the circumstances of a paid player. But here's what you could do. You've got your two quarterbacks. If you want to just keep two quarterbacks, which most teams do, so they can keep other positions. But every team must have a third quarterback dressed and prepared to go in the football game, but not active. The only way they can enter the football game is if the first two are hurt. Now you've got a quarterback going into the football game rather than a wide receiver or a back, or God forbid a tackle back there is taking snaps.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think you've got to protect the integrity of the game, and that's one way to do it. It's an economical way to do it. And I'm sure that those third quarterbacks would love that idea.
Yeah, and interesting listening to the broadcast yesterday, they made it known that Le'Veon Bell actually would have been the emergency quarterback if something were to have happened to Falk there in the end, towards the end of the game. Le'Veon Bell, the only bright spot on that Jets team last night, but he was overworked. I mean, he had a year off, but he was on the field every snap a week ago. He already had a shoulder MRI, and now I want to say he had 31 touches in the game. And I realize that Sam Darnold will be back at some point, but the Jets now go on the road to New England. Then they get the bye, and for a team to have a bye week earlier on in the season, Coach, your insight, I guess the question I would have is, usually, now the Jets' circumstances with the number of injuries that they have, especially at the crucial positions, the quarterback as well as a couple of key players on the defensive side, would it be fair to say that typically NFL teams prefer to have that bye week a bit later on in the season, maybe towards the midway point as opposed to week 4? And the second part of that question is, if the answer is yes, well, this would probably be a unique circumstance where the Jets are going to be thanking the lucky stars that the bye week is when it is, week 4. They can get some of these guys healthy.
Well, yeah, you hit it on the head. You would prefer having it more toward the middle of the season, okay? It's a long season, and that would give you a better opportunity to have a rested squad going down the stretch run, okay? So, and there's some teams that would prefer to have it as late as possible. Okay, so now you get beyond that, but this is opportune, I guess, to a certain extent for New York, for the Jets, only if Sam Darnold is going to be able to play after the bye week, if that's going to help him recover enough to play. You know, the motto is it's a matter of the swelling of the spleen.
Yeah.
And if it hasn't reduced to its normal size, no doctor is going to put his name on the line with blows like you've seen this past weekend on quarterbacks. They're not going to do it because that could be a killer. So if it's not going to help them get Darnold back, then they would love to have it a week late, at least a week or two weeks later, whatever it would take to get him back.
If you go back a month, and again, talking about quarterbacks and just the rash of injuries, but also starting now to see changes just in terms of going with the younger guy. And the New York Giants throughout the offseason, from the moment that they drafted Daniel Jones in the top 10, the clock was ticking on Eli Manning. And the Giants, throughout the season, throughout the preseason, for as good as Daniel Jones looked through the preseason, the New York Giants were adamant that their plan all along was for him not to see the field at all this year. And I guess giving further credence to the belief, my belief, Coach, is that anytime an NFL team drafts a quarterback in the top 10, especially in this day and age, anytime somebody says, oh, yeah, we're not going to play them this year, I'm just not going to believe them. Because time has shown time and time again that they're going to play at some point this year. And Daniel Jones now named officially as the starting quarterback. If you went back a month, just 30 days, and you went down the starting quarterbacks for every NFL team, there are several who now at this point, only week 2, would not be in the starting lineup. We have Sam Darnold, Ben Roethlisberger, Nick Foles, Andrew Luck, Eli Manning, Drew Brees, and possibly Cam Newton as well, because Cam Newton not practicing today, telling the team that his ankle injury has flared up again. So he's at the very least questionable for the Panthers Week 3 matchup. Coach, you mentioned at the start of the show that there's really nothing more that we can do as a league to help the quarterbacks out in terms of getting hurt. I mean, we have it seems every week there are questionable roughing the passer penalties where it seems like it's just a routine tackle. There's the idea of if your full body weight comes down on the quarterback, they're going to call that. So there's just very limited things that we can look into doing to protect the quarterback position. But there's no doubt that the league as a whole, as a product, is certainly watered down to a very high degree because the quarterbacks, the guys that everybody pays to see and loves to watch, aren't there.
Well,
and I knew I threw a lot at you there. I'm sorry, but
yeah, there are quite a few things there, Joe.
I got on a roll.
Well, I understand, but the quarterbacks, yes, they are protected now, and there have been a number of rules to protect the quarterbacks, and I agree. There's some calls and roughing the passer that I don't agree with. I don't think they could help it. I mean, how are you going to stop in midair?
Yeah.
When you've declared the intent to hit somebody, you can't do it. And I really don't see any way that they could do it. I did mention before the third quarterback, which I think is a way to go for the integrity of the game. It's on playing the young quarterbacks. I'm really surprised, to be honest with you. I'm surprised that they're going to make this change at New York with the Giants. I really thought they were going to give it every opportunity to go as long as they possibly could and keep him on the bench in a learning situation and go with Manning. Now, this early, despite what's happened, is still a surprise to me. that they would do it this early.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have told you 2 weeks ago that the starting quarterbacks in New York for Week 3 will be Luke Falk and Daniel Jones, I mean, something crazy needs to happen.
Well, I like Daniel Jones now. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I think he was a good draft choice, a real good draft choice. So
Pat Shurmur's going to say, "Oh, we're just doing what's best for the team." Whatever that means.
They're getting a lot of pressure. We know that. And that New York.
And is that coming from ownership? Is that coming from the media, or just?
It's coming the whole organization, and the best way to put it is the organization, which means it's certainly involved. Ownership is involved. They're all involved. They're putting heat on the so-called general manager. They're putting heat on the head coach. They're putting heat on everybody that they possibly can, and there's an intrusive amount of involvement that we have allowed the press to take in this game. But anyway, in New York, you can imagine with the New York press, it's something that they felt that they're going to have to make the change now. They obviously, too, Joe, I think it's important to understand. I think if they had hope that this was going to change, and I use that word cautiously, but if they had hope that this was going to change, they would not have made that decision. They would have left Manning in there and tried to turn the corner with him.
A couple other interesting notes. Again, I hinted at this earlier today, brought it up, is that quarterback Cam Newton, his status not too clear right now. If you watched the Thursday game against the Buccaneers last week, anybody could see that there was something wrong with Cam. I brought up specifically the play that kind of ended things there where Christian McCaffrey got the direct snap. The Panthers on a 4th and short, not just giving Cam Newton the ball, but completely removing him from the play. At least that's what it looked like to me. So there was clearly something wrong. Cam telling the Panthers that something is up with his foot, re-injured it somehow. So the news is not good there. I don't see him playing this week. So the Panthers, again, going into the game against the Cardinals, not knowing really what to expect come Sunday.
I would agree with you. I think it's going to be difficult for him to play if he should be out there. Now, he had trouble throwing the ball too, and he's also, I'm sure, hobbling somewhat on his ankle. But he's banged up, and there's no doubt about that.
The idea here, again, with this we talked about yesterday, but after we got off the air yesterday, kind of broke a little bit on later. Actually, it was during the Monday night game where Minkah Fitzpatrick, the now former Dolphin defensive back, reported on over the weekend after the loss to the Patriots that he was looking to get out of Miami. Even going back to week 1, there were media reports that there were several teams who were not on board with the idea that the Dolphins organizationally were trying to set themselves up for the future and not paying attention to this year in terms of winning football games. A lot of people would call it tanking. But Minkah Fitzpatrick now is on the move to Pittsburgh. Coach, the Steelers send a first-round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick. My initial reaction is the Steelers are nuts. And the reason I say that is because just hours before this trade was announced, the Steelers put Ben Roethlisberger on season-ending IR. I don't, at least, again, my opinion, I don't give the Steelers much of a shot of making much noise in the AFC. Long story short, I believe that the pick the Steelers gave up for Minkah Fitzpatrick is probably in the neighborhood of a top 15 pick in next year's NFL draft. Your reaction when you heard the news?
I would agree with you totally. I think it was too expensive. You cannot give up first-round picks, especially when you have at least a good idea that you're going to be in the top. They may be in the top 10, but certainly in the top 15 is a good point. And No, that's too expensive for a cornerback. Now, cornerbacks are valuable. I'm not trying to diminish their value, but they're not. I don't put them in the first round position personally. I just don't. I think you can get corners who have good speed and skill and body flexion. The whole hip flexion. And all of the things that you're looking for with a defensive back, good feet, and you can teach an awful lot with technique and by utilization of particular coverages. You can play with people. You don't have to have high first round choices as cornerbacks. I believe that sincerely. Sid Gilman used to never draft a corner. He said he would never draft a corner, wouldn't even draft one. He used free agents. Okay, it's a matter of, I don't go that far.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But I am saying that I think that's too expensive.
Jalen Ramsey making news again. We'll talk about the Jacksonville Star corner a little bit later on in the show. We'll take a timeout. Coming back, a big-time college football game, Notre Dame and Georgia. And joining us on the line will be Rudy Rudiger. Of course, you know the name. The movie Rudy featured a depiction of his life and his time at Notre Dame. He'll be joining the program next, so stay tuned for that. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every $1 spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Hi, Marty Smith here, and my friends at Marathon are really helping you save. Because right now you get 5 cents off every gallon, every day with Make It Count rewards from Marathon. Plus, you can earn points for additional savings on fuel, airfare, hotels, and more. It's quick and easy to join. Just visit makeitcount.com/radio or download the free app. So start saving today with Make It Count from Marathon. Offer valid only at participating Marathon locations. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
School's back in session, which means your ride better be ready. At AutoZone, we've got the free services you need to drive with confidence, like our free battery testing. If you're having trouble starting your car, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. We'll test your battery for free and help you figure out the real issue, so you don't spend money on stuff you don't need. To learn more, visit us online at AutoZone.com. Restrictions and details in store, based on data from the MPD Group Incorporated Car Care Track 12 months ending December 2018.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
The Paul Feinbaum Show.
Everything you wanted to happen hasn't happened.
Oh, my gosh. That's all any of y'all going to talk about is Alabama.
You're really not understanding the conversation, but anyway, we can move on.
Alabama's dynasty has just begun.
Hold on a second, Charles. Somebody wants to talk to you.
I don't want to talk that compelling moron.
He's nothing but a lame-headed old man.
2 till 5 every weekday afternoon. ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You're out of your freaking mind, cowturd.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 99.1 FM. Talk football with Coach K every weekday from noon until 1. Joe Ford and Coach K with you as turning our attention to college football and Notre Dame and Georgia, the big game of the weekend. Can't wait for that one. That's going to be something else. By the way, just a quick reminder about our contest here. Now, apparently, I did not know this. Nobody knew this here. But Facebook apparently has strict rules about contests on Facebook pages. So we still have the submissions that were posted yesterday. But if you go to our post on ESPN Pensacola, the Facebook page, you will see a link. So click the link, and that's how you can get signed up and enter your picks for our weekly Pick'em contest. Again, $25 gift certificate on the line to Calvert's in the Heights. So, again, Notre Dame and Georgia coming up this weekend. And you know him as Rudy, Daniel Rudy Rudiger, on the line with us. Rudy, thanks so much for the time today. And as one of the more famous Notre Dame alums, I was trying to recall the most anticipated regular season game for Notre Dame in the past 15, 20 years. The best I could come up with was probably that 2005 game against USC, the Bush Push game. So heading into Georgia now, what is your confidence level? Are you confident? Are you nervous? What's your pulse on this?
No, teams like Notre Dame and Georgia, when they come together, they play up to their skill set and talent. So it's going to be an interesting game. There's a lot of talent in that Notre Dame football team as well as Georgia. But we'll see what happens, when the game starts. I mean, these kids they're kids. They get emotional. And, then there's mistakes made and there's great plays made. But I feel it's going to be a good game. I don't know which way it's going to go.
All right. Rudy, this is Kay Stevenson. Again, thanks.
Yeah, Coach.
Thanks for coming on, my friend.
You bet.
I know you're in New York and you've got a lot of things going on. Our audience know you very well from you're one of the most famous Notre Dame ex right now. I'll tell you, you've really done a great job with your motivational speaking and giving people an awful lot to look forward to, Rudy. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. Now we have a new dream. You know that, right?
Yeah.
The Colonel.
Colonel Sanders. Yeah. You're a Kentucky Colonel now.
Yeah. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
From a Golden Domer to a Kentucky Colonel.
Well, what was interesting about the Colonel, he was 70 years old when he really had started achieving that brand.
Yeah.
And I just turned 71, and the brand's just really starting to get going again. So we're really excited about that.
Well, I know you are, and I think they picked a good one to go down, a good path to go down. Most people know that, of course, in the 1993 movie, Rudy, most people know about your situation there at Notre Dame. Some don't know that you were 5'6", 165 pounds, and you were the first player to have been carried off the field at Notre Dame. Played 2 defensive snaps and a sack on the second snap. Of course, you were in on a kickoff before that. A lot of people don't realize this. I did not realize 2 years in the Navy after high school. You spent 2 years in the Navy and 2 years working at a power plant.
That's correct.
Before getting into college over there at Notre Dame, and you found out that you were dyslexic and had some problems there, as most would. But your life and legend has just been one of great interest, Rudy.
Go
ahead.
Go ahead, Coach. No, you mentioned dyslexia, and you mentioned a learning disability, and you find out in life, as you go through life, sometimes it's not the grade that gets you there, that gets you to where you need to go. It's your heart, it's your desire, and your yearning for the goal, and you find out there's other ways of getting there, and that's what happened. The junior college was my answer to the quest for Notre Dame. Because Notre Dame, when you come out of high school, you need high SATs and a high rank in your class. Well, I didn't have either. I was third in my class from the bottom, and my SAT scores and ACT scores were not relevant. So you had to look at another way of getting there. Sometimes that takes other things you need to do, like go find out who you really are and find out the structure of, I call it the confidence of what you need to do. There's a structure there. That means you have to start building your self-esteem within yourself. Because in school, it took that away. Took that self-esteem away. Took that dream power away. Because, one, the teachers really didn't understand learning disorders at the time, so they just labeled you as a very unteachable young boy. And it was very frustrating. And it was a lot, there was a lot of anger there. Plus, it was very, I call it lonely way to go, because you felt like you didn't have much self-worth. But you overcome that by making the right choices, by getting around the right people. And the military was probably my best choice. It was during the Vietnam era, and I went into the Navy, and I learned a lot about Rudy, about the little things paid off, and people paid attention to character and to your courage and your commitment and how you contributed. And I said, wow, how come school doesn't understand that? How come our educational system doesn't understand that? We all can't take standardized tests, and we're all not part of that educational system that they grade upon, but we still can be successful through the power of education and through knowledge. But if they're not going to allow you to get it, you got to go after it yourself, and you have to perform differently. That's the choices I made. Why the junior college was so important. They gave you the opportunity to learn differently and also get the grades that were necessary for you to get to Notre Dame and take the courses that you had to take at the junior college in order to get there. That was a big deal. Then to play football was a little older. Well, they didn't take junior walk-ons at Notre Dame, and because Eric Parsegian was in the Navy, he kind of liked the fact that I was in the Navy, so he gave me an opportunity to walk on as a junior. So that was a big deal. So Eric Parsegian was a big mentor in a way. Holy Cross, the little brothers there were big mentors, and I found other mentors. And there was a guy at work that was my mentor. He ended up dying in a very, I call bad choice accident. Took a shortcut with his life, ended his life. That's why I say no more shortcuts for me. And that's kind of like how it went. So after I finished getting into Notre Dame, being rejected, and learning about rejection, of building relationships along the way, allowed me to get that second chance. And the winners will always give you that chance to get there. But again, you have to earn their respect, and that's basically I understood that through my military training. That respect is much, much bigger than scoring touchdowns and winning national championships. Because people really don't care in 10 years from now whether you won a national championship or not. They could care less. If they want to just know that you play for Notre Dame, that meant more to them than a national championship. And that meant a lot to me as well. If I just contribute to the football team, be part of that team, then you're really earned your way, and you are somebody in that respect. And that's what happened.
Right.
And that's how the movie happened, because the movie's all about the journey, not football, not Notre Dame, but learning how to build your self-esteem and going through the struggles and the journeys that we all go through by having the mentors around us that encourage us to get through the tough times. That's the magic of Rudy. It will never, never end. We just did a Broadway show. It's on Amazon Prime right now, and Rudy Rudiger, the Walk-On, the documentary. And now we're doing commercials. So we're very excited about people who are recognizing the brand in a big way. So that's the long short of it. Not that I'm a famous football player, but the message is bigger and transcends me as a person and even transcends Notre Dame.
Rudy, I wanted to ask you. I'm 32 years old, and I'm really geeking out right now because Rudy's one of my favorite movies. But for someone who's my age, the person that I associate Rudy with is Sean Astin. Because he's so visible, and I just wanted to know. I'm curious. Do you have a really good relationship with Sean Astin? I mean, are you guys friends ever since this movie came out?
Absolutely. No. That's why we did the Rudy commercial together, the Rudy 2 with Kentucky Fried Chicken. I play the father, and he still plays Rudy. And it's an interesting thing that Sean, he got a lot of different roles since Rudy, from Sam, the Lord of the Rings, to many other movies. And then there's Jon Favreau, who came out of Rudy, who did Iron Man and Lion King and Aladdin, all the great movies he always wanted to direct that he wanted to be part of, but his first opportunity was being in the movie Rudy, him and Vince Vaughn. Why am I saying that? Because the dream that I achieved allowed their dreams to be achieved. So that meant a lot to Sean and Jon Favreau, all these guys, because we found Jon Favreau in Second City in Chicago. He was just like a stand-up comedian and improv guy. So he was a perfect guy we chose. And then there's Ned Beatty, of course, Robert Prosky. Robert Prosky got the opportunity because John Boyd's mother got real sick, and we actually casted John Boyd. And Robert Prosky came into the picture. And he got his shot. And Jason Miller, of course, who played Era, who passed. Robert Prosky passed. But these guys really loved Notre Dame. Really wanted to be part of that movie. So that meant a lot to me when we did put the movie together. It was a struggle with Notre Dame. Notre Dame did not want this movie at all. And that was okay at the time, but they finally saw the light and said, yeah, we should do this. But it took a little, I think, relationship building, and sometimes it takes a little long for them to see the picture of why Notre Dame's so important to the country and the world. It needs more than just football. And when they got that message, they allowed the movie to be shot. But it took 10 years.
That is very, very interesting. Why do you think, Rudy, Notre Dame did not want the movie made?
Well, because, anytime you market Duke Rockne All-American, that movie, they already had their marketing down. And they were known for great athletes, smart kids, and rich kids. That's kind of the perception. And my deal with them was, it's not for rich kids, great athletes, and the privilege. It's for all of us who wants it, who wants to earn it. And they said, you're right. And that's what they saw. Because it's a little bit of a facelift. And also, too, for walk-ons across the country, walk-ons became very prominent after the movie Rudy. People started looking at walk-ons differently. Coaches started looking at walk-ons differently. So that became a big deal. How a walk-on is perceived. Now they're perceived differently. Kids walk on now, and they go to universities because of the movie Rudy. My goodness, I find I keep forgetting how old the movie is. If I show up at Major League Baseball games or National League football games, and you go to NBA games, you find out all the stars grew up with Rudy, and they want to meet Rudy. It's amazing to me.
Well, listen, it's your story is certainly one of perseverance and commitment, Rudy, and I'm sure as a motivational speaker that you've been able to help an awful lot of people along the way as well. Give you a chance to talk also. I'm kind of interested in the Rudy Awards. Can you comment on the Rudy Awards?
Yeah, we started in middle school because we figured that's where you start building the self-esteem in the middle school. So we went to the middle schools and we gave them a criteria of lessons that they needed to go through that built character and courage and how they contribute. And the kids who came to fathers in that got the Rudy Award. And every year there's a kid in 5th grade, 6th grade that gets that award. Then it went into college football, the Rudy Awards. 52 major universities picked up on it. Now it's in corporate America, the Rudy Award. But we started with the kids because we felt that's where it should be started. And they get their scholarships. And some of the kids we give it to, sometimes they need a computer or song lesson or a dance lesson. So we allow that. We achieve that for them. So that means a lot. That's saying they're going to go on to college. But I'm more interested in skills or skill sets. What are they getting ready for life? Not that you don't need education, but let's get educated when you know what you want in life and what skill you need. And I have to tell you, it's really a push for me to know college is not for everyone, but skills are for everybody, and education's for everybody, and knowledge is for everybody. But sometimes we go to college because we think that's the key to success. It isn't. It may build different levels of success for you at school, but there's got to be a yearning, and there's got to be an understanding, and there's got to be a true relentlessness in what you want out of life. Sometimes it just takes some struggle to learn that, and maybe go different paths to learn that. That's why I'm not afraid to tell a kid, you don't need to go to school right away. Sometimes maybe you need to go maybe in the military or go do something for a while. Find out, maybe you should go to college find out what you want. And that's okay, too. People think you got to go to college right away. It's not true, not necessary.
I think probably your 4 years out in the real world after high school before college
right,
helped you an awful lot as you went through college. But
yeah, it helped me understand that. And college was a lot. I'm telling you, the struggle in college was good for me because I understood it, because I have the discipline and the understanding how to get help to people. You don't be afraid to ask for help. And I wasn't afraid because that's what, again, the collaboration the military taught us. It was so important. So all that paid off, everything. And even today when I speak, I meet people, and all of a sudden people always wanted to meet me. So it's just amazing to me how a small, ordinary guy can do extraordinary things for people. Some of these people take their goals to the next level, next level, next level. And I feel good about that because I was allowed to contribute to their success and their dreams. So that's kind of like my deal. You look at Cleveland Browns. That quarterback was a 2-time walk-on, and he walked on 2 different schools, and he made it. And I like that. Yeah. I like his attitude. I like his spirit. He may not be the biggest guy, but he keeps plugging and plugging, and he gets that talent around him. It's like this kid that went to the Patriots, Antonio Brown. I love the kid. The kid's a great kid, but he's misunderstood, and sometimes you need a guy like Tom Brady to put him under his wing and say, look, dude, this is how we're going to do it. This is how you got to act. We don't care if you're free-spirited, but you're going to abide by our deal, and it's going to happen for you because we're going to win. And they appreciate his talent and his skill, and we all make mistakes, as you know, and don't judge me on my mistakes. Judge me how I correct my mistake. And that's
Rudy, I got a quick question I need to ask you, and then
yeah.
But who were your quarterbacks when you were there at Notre Dame when you were playing?
Sure, we had Rick Slager, Rusty Lish, Gary Forsythe, and Joe Montana. And Joe Montana was kind of like the scout team quarterback when I was there.
Yeah, he had just come in there. Yeah.
He just came in, and his sophomore year he was on the 3rd team. Then his junior year, was how he broke out and became Joe Montana.
Right. Well, listen, Rudy, we wish you, you're one of a kind, my friend, and we appreciate you.
Oh, you are, Coach.
Coming on.
I'm
and
not one of a kind. There's a million Rudys out there. Trust me. Trust me.
Continued good luck with your Broadway production and your KFC project, and all the best to you. All the best to you, Rudy. Thank you.
God bless you, Coach. You're the best. Appreciate the time.
You bet.
All right, so that was Rudy Rudiger again. Thanks so much for joining us, and what an interesting guy he is. And Coach, I would have one thing I was curious about, and I don't know if you know the answer to this, or I would love to have him on again, because I just have so many questions about the movies and just about the depiction of his life. But one thing that I've always wondered, the whole story with. How he and Era Persegyan had sort of an understanding that, Era would let him dress for a game, and then he left, and then Dan Devine came in, and the movie kind of depicted Dan Devine as this guy's like, I don't care about this guy. Who's that guy? And so I don't know if that was accurate or not, or if you know the backstory on that.
That was not. The backstory is that actually some of the players, a couple of the players, did want the school to let him dress. They wanted Devine to let him dress, and Devine was all for it. In fact, he suggested not only that he dress, but wanted to get him in the ball game. So Devine was the antagonist
in the movie.
movie.
Right.
But
he was all on board from the get-go there.
Yeah.
So that's good. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things, I love, watching College Game Day and the signs there. And one of the signs that always seems to prop up, especially when Notre Dame's involved. So I would expect it to see it on Sunday, or on Saturday rather, at College Game Day, is the sign "Rudy was offsides."
Yeah.
So I wonder what Rudy thinks. At any time he sees that. But great interview. And
Rudy was here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, great stuff there. And again, Rudy Rudiger, motivational speaker, and he does so much good as you heard through there. We'll take a timeout, come back, and dive into more football. It's Talk Football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Don't drop the ball this football season. Make Tom Thumb your game day destination. We are your first round pick for snacks, chips, dips, and drinks. Are you tailgating before the game? Don't get blindsided. Head to Tom Thumb for all your supplies. Score big savings with our rewards card. You'll earn 4 fuel points for every $1 spent in store. From hot dogs and buns to ice and propane, Tom Thumb has you covered to help you enjoy the game. For the ultimate game day, team up with Tom Thumb, the local store for local champions.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck, Bentley. That was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
Don't you hate scrambling on the road when you're looking for a place to spend the night?
We all do. That's why when you travel for work, stay at La Quinta by Wyndham.
They've got everything you need to tackle the job, from free high-speed Wi-Fi to a spacious workspace right in your room.
Plus, their Bright Side breakfast comes with waffles, eggs, fruit, and meat.
Now, that's a game changer.
They've got over 900 locations so you can cover the gridiron.
And best of all, they're part of Wyndham Rewards, so those extra points really add up.
Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph. Book direct at lq.com.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Talk football with Coach K. I'm Joe Ford. Every weekday, noon to 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM. Just heard a really great interview there with Rudy Rudiger, as I guess his body double, if you want to call it that, Sean Astin. You probably have seen the commercials there on your college football Saturdays about how Rudy is the new Colonel Sanders. So a lot of fun there, and had a good time talking about the movie and other things that Rudy is involved with. Quick segment here, Coach. I wanted to get back to the conversation here as we had Minkah Fitzpatrick, who requested a trade. The Dolphins were able to get a first-round pick from the Steelers for Minkah Fitzpatrick. And now word is that Jalen Ramsey, after the dust-up that he and Doug Marrone had over the weekend, he is also now asking the Jaguars for a trade. He's still on his rookie contract. He showed up to minicamp or to training camp with the Brinks truck, so clearly making it known that he wants to be one of the highest, if not the highest paid defensive back in pro football. So the dust up there, there were kind of word coming out from the NFL insider Schefter and Rappaport and all those that he wasn't happy. He wanted to just play a man-on-man kind of shadow one wide receiver, and they had him doing other stuff, and I think that's what kind of led to the dust up there. Coach, what I wanted to ask you, though, was we've seen instances in the NFL where players have sort of been able to take control of where they want to go. The high-profile example would be John Elway in the 1983 draft. We had Eli Manning in the 2004 draft. Also, Steve Young, when he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, kind of was making demands like that. So this is not something totally new, but just in the last year or so, it seems like NFL players are sort of realizing, or at least trying, to really take control of their careers. And just in professional sports in general, this is really something, an era that was kind of ushered in by LeBron James, that the NBA thought of as a players' league. And, Coach, I'm curious from your perspective, a guy who's been in the game for so long, has been in the National Football League, and do you kind of see it that way, where the players are maybe realizing or trying to make it more of a players' league as opposed to kind of how it's always been, where except for those isolated instances where it's like you just do what you're told, you do what the team asks you to do, and you just put up and you shut up? Doesn't really seem that way, especially recently with some high-profile examples.
Well, I think to answer your question, there's a happy medium there. You could go one way, you could go all the way the other way, and the players want everything. They don't want the owners. They want all the money that comes in to be split between the players, and the owners get no money, okay? If they had their way, there would be no other use of funds other than paying players. And they could go play with whomever they wanted to. They could hire whatever coach they wanted to, or don't have a coach. If they had it their way, this is totally their way, it would be come to see us play on the playground and pay us $50 million a year each. That's not the case. There has to be order there has to be. It's no different than this country. We're based on laws. This is a republic, which is we're based on law. There has to be some order in it, or you don't have a league. Now, if there's not a league there, again, if these guys want to go do something else, I mean, I'm sure we've got a number of brain surgeons and nuclear physicists and others that are just waiting to go out and cure cancer or do other things great for humanity. Go do it. If that's what you want to do, go do it. But this is a league that is here. It's not here for your benefit. It's here for the benefit of the public. Okay. So I go one way. You ask me where. Somewhere, and I'm not for, as you say, I don't agree with certain approaches, but there are rules and regulations which have to be followed, and followed totally. But I do believe in, and I'm sure people have picked it up on. I am not ashamed to say it. I believe in the Bill Belichick way to run a football program.
We'll take our final break, come back, hit more news and notes from around NFL and college football, including taking a look at ticket prices for the biggest game of the weekend, Georgia and Notre Dame. Probably a bit too late if you're hoping to get a good deal on those tickets there. Coming back for more here, Talk Football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Dude, it's game day, and I'm fired up that football is back.
I know, but I'm bummed they don't show my favorite team on TV around here.
All right, well, what about that place Calvert's? They're a really cool English pub-style restaurant, and they have a really good drink menu.
Yeah, but what about the game?
Don't worry, they have the NFL Sunday ticket and plenty of TVs, so we can watch any game that we want.
Ooh, I just looked at the menu, and that Abbey Road burger is calling my name.
Calvert's in the Heights Restaurant and Bar, 3102 East Cervantes Street, calvertsintheheights.com.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Highway 29 in Car City.
Stephen A. Smith here. If you're like me, you have a mortgage and a family who depends on your income, then you need to protect the ones you love with life insurance. Life insurance can help pay off a mortgage or send the kids to college. It's peace of mind. Think you can afford it? Chances are Select Quote can help you get it for less than $1 a day. Select Quote comparison shops up to 10 highly rated companies, including Prudential, Banner Life, and Mutual of Omaha, and others, to find you the company with the best rates. For example, Select Quote could find a 35-year-old man a $500,000 policy for under $21 a month. That's less than $1 a day. Select Quote's breakthrough technology allows them to quickly match you with the best insurance company to find your best policy. Plus, quotes are free. Start protecting your family today. Call Select Quote at 1-800-601-6992. That's 1-800-601-6992. Or go to selectquote.com/Smith.
Get full details in the example policy at selectquote.com/commercials. Your premium could vary depending on health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Talk football every day with Pensacola's own Coach K.
The key on offense is going to be whether Franks can come back and duplicate what he did in the last 4 games.
Every weekday, noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1. Welcome to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 FM 99.1. Pensacola's home to the best talk in sports, new and improved. We are ESPN Pensacola, 1330 and FM 99.1.
You're listening to Pensacola's local and ESPN sports station. Your favorite ESPN radio shows, plus high school and UWF Argo football. ESPN Pensacola, 1330.
ESPN Pensacola 1330, 99.1 FM. Talk football with Coach K. Live every weekday from noon until 1. Got Gator Talk coming up 1 to 2, by the way. Programming note for you. Contest going on. We have a contest every week. We're just asking you to pick 8 games, 4 college and 4 NFL. You can head to our Facebook page, ESPN Pensacola. And the post that is pinned at the top of that page will show a link. You click on the link, it'll take you to our website, ESPN Pensacola, and that's where you make your picks. So pretty easy to do. $25 gift certificate to Calvert's in the Heights to give away there. Coach K, as we continue and close out this week, we had Rudy Rudiger on earlier today, and of course, as we get through the week, there's going to be so much more anticipation build up towards what is the premier game of the weekend, Georgia and Notre Dame. A couple of years ago, we saw just how passionate and how well-traveled Georgia fans are, as they didn't take over South Bend, but there was a lot of red there. And you also had the Braves and Cubs that weekend, and the Falcons and the Bears. So what a great weekend it was for Atlanta area fans and Georgia fans to take the weekend and go up to Chicago there, get some deep dish and get some Portillo's. But now that Georgia returns the favor, Coach, number 3 versus number 7. As I said earlier, it's probably the most anticipated regular season game that Notre Dame's been in since the 2005 year against USC, when USC was coming in as the number 1 team, Brady Quinn's senior year. Ticket prices probably among the highest that I can recall, and you said that you were expecting them to go even higher as we get closer to kickoff.
Yeah, what I heard, in fact, I just heard last evening, I think that they are expecting a full 92,000 in the stadium and at least that many more out around the stadium, people that are there that can't get in.
Yeah.
That will be tailgating and just to be on site for the ball game.
Yeah.
So it's going to be quite a spectacle there.
Back in 2006, just a little personal experience, I went to several games back in Columbus, grew up in Ohio, and I had tickets. I was fortunate enough to be in Columbus and at the game, the 1 versus 2 showdown between Ohio State and Michigan, and I can vouch for that because I have never before seen as many people, just a sea of people who were just outside the stadium who didn't have a ticket to the game, that just wanted to be part of the tailgating, just want to be part of the atmosphere. So I absolutely buy that. Average ticket price, by the way, around $611 per ticket. So that's a mortgage payment for most of us, and for a pair, a little over $1,000 plus lodging and everything like that. So it's not going to be cheap.
No, it won't be cheap. That's for sure.
Well, hope you enjoyed the program today. Thanks again to Rudy Rudiger for taking the time to come on with us here. Gator Talk is next. We'll see you tomorrow. Talk football with Coach K, ESPN Pensacola.
Football season has arrived, and ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is where the action is. Bringing your high school football every Friday night, UWF football on Saturdays, and the NFL on Sundays. If you would like to partner with ESPN Pensacola as a sponsor or promotional partner, give us a call at 262-6000.
ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
ESPN